The simplest pair of polynomials we can multiply is a pair of binomials. Right? 2 terms each is the smallest we can go while still having more than one term in each. And when we do that, there are 4 possible products. Right? 2 terms from the first, 2 terms from the second, 2 times 2 equals 4 possible products. Let's now look at just kind of a generic pair of binomials and see if we can spot a pattern in the product that we can maybe generalize. So I'm going to say I'm going to have a rectangle with 2 rows, 2 columns. And I'm going to say A plus B times C plus D. I'll have A times C plus B times C plus A times D plus B times D. So my product is going to be AC plus AD plus BC plus BD. And that was the result of multiplying A plus B times C plus D. And I copied the terms of my product in that order for a reason. Because now I'm going to look and say, okay, how can I describe where I found those terms in that binomial? So my first term was A multiplied by C. It looks like to do that, I took the first term of each binomial. Then I had A multiplied by D. It looks like to do that, I took what appears to be the outside pair of terms from this product. Then I had B multiplied by C. That's the inside pair of terms from the product. And finally, I had B multiplied by D. That was the last term from each binomial. So it looks like the 4 pairs of terms are the first terms from each binomial, the outer pair from the product, the inner pair from the product, and then the last terms from each binomial. And those are the 4 possible pairs that we can multiply together. Instead of drawing out the rectangle, we can use this mnemonic device, this FOIL, which spells the word foil. We can use this to keep track of the possible pairs of terms when we're multiplying 2 binomials. Remember that we can only use this for 2 binomials, however. If we have more than 2 terms, there are more than 4 possible pairs. So there are going to be more than 4 terms in our product. And so we need more than 4 steps. Could we come up with some sort of a mnemonic for like 3 terms by 3 terms? Well, yeah, but it would have to be 9 letters. And at that point, I think it's easier to either go to a rectangle or apply the distributive property twice, or with a ton of practice, you can also go through just and keep track of all of the pairs in your head. So we're going to use FOIL if we're multiplying binomials. If either of our polynomials has more than 3 terms, we're going to go to a rectangle. So just to practice this method, we're going to multiply 2x minus 3 times x plus 5. And we're going to do it two ways. We're going to do it using the rectangle method we already have, and then the FOIL shortcut. So first, as a rectangle, we'll need 2 rows and 2 columns. Across the top, I'll put 2x minus 3. Down the side, I'll put x plus 5. So 2x times x is 2x squared. Negative 3 times x is negative 3x. 2x times 5 is 10x. Negative 3 times 5 is negative 15. And so we'll say 2x squared. Negative 3x plus positive 10x is plus 7x. Minus 15 is our product. Using FOIL instead, we'll take our first terms. So 2x times x is 2x squared. Our outer terms, so 2x times 5 is 10x. Our inner terms, so negative 3 times x is negative 3x. And our last terms, negative 3 times 5 is negative 15. And finally, we'll combine like terms. 2x squared plus 7x minus 15. You see that we not only get the same answer each way, we do the same multiplication each way. We do exactly the same arithmetic. This is just two different ways of keeping track of what we're doing. Probably the biggest advantage that FOIL has is that it saves space on the paper. We can just write down the product rather than having to draw out a rectangle, which takes up some more space. Now, we're going to spend a lot of time multiplying pairs of linear binomials. And we know that when we multiply two linear binomials, we're going to end up combining the middle terms. So what we saw here and in the FOIL shortcut here. With practice, we're sometimes going to skip writing that step. So here we have 2x minus 3 times 3x minus 2. 2x times 3x is 6x squared. And then we're just going to think. We have 2x times negative 2 is negative 4x. Negative 3 times 3x is negative 9x. Negative 4 and negative 9, we have negative 13x. Negative 3 times negative 2 is plus 6. So with practice, and especially if we have numbers that make the arithmetic easy, we may skip writing out the middle terms separately and just combine our middle terms as we multiply. We're not going to do that right now, but that's a place that you might find yourself getting to as we continue to practice this.